I hope everybody's doing well. Glad to see everybody joining in right now. It says got 4 people waiting. All right. So tonight, what we're going to be doing is just a little bit of modeling. What we're trying to do is model the EXP fashion from the Bad Batch. This guy here in Bad Batch season 3. I want to say it's his first appearance. He basically took a clone fashion was brainwashed by the Empire. He got a cool new set of clones that he's never seen before. So I was super intrigued by the armor. Probably so Blender because I haven't quite figured out OBS and that's a whole different thing. Or different, images. So I don't have a full image of it, but you guys can look it up. Yeah, so this is his helmet. It's got a more kind of stealth design than most of the other stormtroopers. So what I'm trying to do is you guys have these two pieces kind of knocked up. I'm maybe working a little bit on kind of making them look better. But what I'm also going to be doing is I'm going to be making it fast tonight so that we can have the full helmet. And my goal at the end of this project is to be able to 3D print it and then like actually wear it. My mic is really muffled. Let me see what I can do about that. Let's see here. So trying to get better. Alright, so I'm just going to be kind of talking. Is it sounding any better right now? I'm looking at the kind of the I don't know what you call that, but the settings, and it looks like the levels are good, but I'm not entirely sure why it's muffled. Is it getting any better? If not, what I can try and do is should be muted for this effect, but I'm going to re-add in my microphone, try and get it reset up. Just kidding. Okay. All right.
Is this sounding any better? I'm trying to use, okay, looks like I've switched over to my primary microphone. Is that better to hear? I'm not entirely sure how all the audio settings are working, so let me know. I got the chat open so I can see what you guys write. All right. Looks like it's better. If so, I'm going to continue, and if it continues to be poor quality audio, then just let me know. It's perfect? All right. Excellent. Turns out, okay, so I think what was happening was, oh, there's an echo? Man. All right. Give me a sec. Now there shouldn't be an echo. Is there an echo now? I turned off device audio or desktop audio, so it shouldn't be mirroring what it's playing in the on the desktop, which might have been echoing. No, so I'm streaming from OBS Studio. I don't have it open in Discord, but just because I don't know the settings for Discord or how to set up a stream that goes between YouTube and Discord. So I'm kind of experimenting with OBS and trying to learn where all the settings are and where all the buttons are. But I think in theory this should have fixed the poor quality audio because I switched to my main mic and then also disabled the echo that you were experiencing. I don't know. Does it sound better now? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway. If it doesn't get better, then we'll figure it out. But for right now, I'm going to continue. And it's better? All right, excellent. Cool. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is, you can see some of these edges are a little bit weird. And this just because I have it shaded to auto smooth. So basically if it's any greater than a certain angle, it'll like try and smooth it out. But obviously this, you can see, you know, this helmet has some sharp edges. So basically what I'm going to try and do right now is just clean up this geometry so it's not, so all these like angles are the exact same geometry and it's not trying to kind of smooth those out. So you basically just need to make each of these a little sharper, probably just by dragging it on the X a little bit. I think, there we go. It's starting to clear up a little bit. I'll move it in on the Y just a little bit as well. Oop. Wrong key. There we go. All right, now this part is very interesting. Should theoretically be working. Can I make a chicken jockey next? I could. It'd probably be pretty easy since it's all cubes. I'm gonna stick to the helmet for tonight, but I can make you a chicken jockey later. Honestly, I should have done that. It would probably would have gotten some pretty good numbers with the chaos that happened with the Minecraft movie. That was amazing to watch. Anyway, okay, yeah. So now look at that. Now we got a nice crisp edge right there. We got this little bit right here. So these need to be taken out a little bit. Sweet. And then this is a very important edge. Now I don't know. I think if I take these out, yeah, it'll crisp it up. But I think what I need to do is bring these parts in a little bit more. See. Okay. Ooh. So this have to go in a lot for that to make a significant difference. I'm gonna hide the bottom so I have a better view of what exactly I'm doing here. Lava chicken animation. All right. That would give me a good excuse to mess around with fluid simulations. I would love to do that. That would actually be really fun. I'll put it on the list of things I want to do. Hatsune chicken jockey lava animation. Okay, I think that might be a little bit too many things lined up at once. But I don't know. We could do a Miku animation and a chicken jockey and a chicken lava animation. I think that would be nice. I do have the Hatsune Miku repo bot that I modeled, and I just never did anything with it. So I need to make something with that too. I was talking to you guys a little bit about that earlier when we were playing repo the other night. But yeah. Ooh, okay, wait. Hang on. Okay, so that's starting to clear up. I want to make sure I don't bring it in too much though. So I might have to balance it out by just bringing these points out. Because I want to make sure that I can still put this on my head once I 3D print it. So it can't be like too small. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to wear it. And that is ideally the goal. Is I want to be able to make the full armor set and then wear it. I think that'd be really cool. Oh, what are you doing all the way back there? Hatsune Miku singing I Love. Okay, honestly, if I could do the audio editing to make it sound like Miku, I would do that, but I know nothing about audio editing. So as much as that would be amazing to watch, I'm not sure I could do that. Alright, now I'm going to make sure that this is still kind of lining up with everything. Just so that it's still relatively correct. And honestly, this is probably the worst way to model this. But like I said earlier, I have no idea how to go about this particular type of modeling. Kind of winging it. Alright, so that's all lined up on that edge. Let's bring it over here. See what we're looking at. Alright, so we need to modify it on this axis. Hey Ben, welcome. Good to see you here. I'm just modeling a clone trooper helmet right now. Trying to work on this this edge cheek piece, but it's proven to be a little bit difficult. Go. Set that. Oh, but now we have the exact same problem that we had before, which is just it's not sharp. Well, let's see, what could we do about that? I think, I mean, obviously, okay, I could just turn down the angle, which will make it sharp. I don't know. I guess the only real important part is that it looks good, and that it's the right size. So I think, I don't know, that should be good. And the next thing I want to do is I want to make it so that this piece right here is not as sharp. I want the nose part to kind of be rounded all the way through. I'm gonna change the lighting real quick. See what's a good lighting. Ooh, that's awful lighting. Normals. That is not good. That's not bad. We'll go with the clay. so that's pretty smooth. I think if we just move this whole set down, no, it's this one. If I move it in like that, there we go. Nice, that's more round. And then I'll go ahead and move this in as well. Ooh, that is not moving at all. Okay, there we go. But this one's still messing up. Okay. Just like that. Now we have a really sharp line here, which does actually exist in the model, but I'm going to make it just a little bit less sharp. Ooh, you know what, maybe what I'll do, I'll just bevel that. Does that kind of fix the sharpness? Yeah. Okay, that makes it look pretty decent. So that gives us a fairly good looking flat edge, which you can see if I disable this. Okay, we can't see it too good on this side. But here, oh, you know, actually, I don't know. Now that I'm looking right here, it kind of appears as though there's not a sharp edge. It's clearly flatter right here, but there's not a sharp edge. So we can just, we don't need to bevel that. We can just get rid of the sharp edge entirely. And then we still have extra faces right here, so it maintains the kind of flat edge appearance. Set it in a lot. Yeah. That's working all right. I'll move this out just a little bit. Kind of undo what we did previously, but I think it looks better like that. You got a lot of geometry right here that I think don't really need a whole lot of. Just gonna smooth that out a little bit. I'm curious what happens if I just dissolve that, because we don't technically need that, or this one for that matter. Oh, interesting. I remember that's why I did that. Okay, so I forgot we get these weird edges. For some reason, when it's trying to round out the edges with this, where is it? Mirror, no, solidify, no. The subdivision surface, basically what it tries to do is just say, okay, from this point to this point, I know there's a curve, so I'm gonna just try and like mathematically average this curve out, but it's trying to do that for all of these points. So for some reason, it gives me a weird bit of geometry here. And that geometry is also a problem when I solidify it. Okay, so we do need to fix that. Let's see here. We just dissolve some of these. No, that makes it worse. Interesting. Well, isn't that something? So what if I just turn all of these into quads? A quad basically, you know, is just a shape with 4 sides. It's gonna be really messy, but it looks like it's gonna work. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. All right, so that works. Now this one is not a quad though. We can make that even better. We just make all of these quads. 2, 3. All right, perfect. So now, if I try and create a loop, that still works, and we don't get all that weird extra shading. All right. So that's looking all right. How's the edge looking? Edge is looking okay. Looks decent from the front. I could line it up just a little bit more with the actual helmet. These edges are good, so I'm just going to bring the whole edge out. Just like that. This edge is not actually that good. This edge, or this point is lower than the other ones. So you bring that up a little bit. Get some more rounded look. And right here, there's a little bit, it goes down. That's the biggest problem I'm running into, is just trying to make these compound curves nice and straight. You can kind of see it with the lighting. I get all these weird little bumps, you know, little high spots and low spots, and then you have this ridge in the middle. And the ridge in the middle is kind of hard because that's just where the edges line up. But I'm curious, you can see anywhere where the point goes beneath the surface, that's kind of just telling you like that the model is trying to interpolate, or basically say, you know, from this point to this point, how is the model going to smooth? And it says it's higher than this point. So that's clearly a problem, and I'm just going to try and fix a couple of those. I'll go up here and just drag that down. That's the biggest problem that I'm running into is, you know, especially working with something like this, is you have a lot of compound curves, right? Or just, can you be racist in the chat? Please don't. I feel like that would not be good. I was just checking the chat intermittently, and I don't know. I would save that for YouTube Shorts. They love that stuff, but I feel like YouTube would not love it on my stream. When are you getting a Minecraft stream? I did those for a little while, and then I just kind of stopped when I started doing Blender stuff. But I might start something new. Like not a new channel necessarily. I was trying to figure out how to do that because I liked doing the Minecraft streams. They were really fun, but it kind of just convoluted the brand, right? Because you had animation stuff, you had Blender stuff, but then you mixed in gaming stuff, and it was just kind of like, you couldn't really tell what the channel was about. So I might make like an alt channel where I could do Minecraft and Repo and, you know, whatever other games. But I don't know. That would be something cool, especially since we have the you know, the Realm. I can just do streams on there. I feel like that'd be fun. All right, sounds like. What Minecraft would I stream? What do you mean? Like, oh, like hardcore? No, I tried hardcore. Dude, I cannot survive at all. I kind of suck at Minecraft, not gonna lie. So no, it would most likely not be hardcore. Those made for really short streams. That was back before the pandemic and before I really started Blender. I was like, oh, I'll do some Minecraft streams. Those are fun. And so, you know, I kind of looked around and I was like, okay, what are people doing right now? And it was like the what was it? Oh yeah, surviving 100 days in hardcore Minecraft. And I was like, oh hey, that could be fun. So I give it a try, and on stream, pretty much just what ended up happening, was I just made like 15 different worlds over the course of 20 streams because I could not figure out what on earth I was doing wrong, but I just kept on dying. So probably not hardcore, but just regular Minecraft, cool builds. Not great at building, but I don't know. Could be fun. Aside from that, I don't know. I mean, if I'm on the realm, then you guys could join in. We could do like challenges or something because we have the realm. But I don't know. There's a bunch of fun stuff. You never know. Also, Ben, you are right. The channel right now doesn't have necessarily like a particular theme, but I am trying to keep it to animation just so the YouTube algorithm gets really confused very easily. And so I'm trying to just keep it to animation as much as I can. But of course, I mean, you know me, I have so many different interests that even within animation, you know, one week I'll be doing like, oh, fluid simulation and physics. The next week I'll be modeling a clone trooper helmet like this. The week after that, I don't know, some sci-fi thing. The week after that, something else. So it's always changing, but I want the general theme to be animation and stuff like that. Let's see. Okay, how do we fix this little dimple in the front? Bring that up. That works. And there is a point right there. Drag that up like that. Nice. Bring this guy out. Bring that guy out. Cool. Is it really at 11K? I have not checked that one in so long, but I was so surprised by the success of the Demon Slayer mask. That was such a fun project to make. I loved modeling it. I loved printing it. And then you were actually there when I was sanding it. I forgot about that. But yeah, no, that was fun. And then spray painting it when I accidentally painted my watch all pink and white because I forgot to put something over my watch before I started with the spray paint. That was funny. But yeah, no, that's the kind of projects that I love doing, is something that I can take a look at and be like, wow, look at that. I did that. And then of course, you know, I made the short with it and it just takes off. And that was absolutely insane. I think the first day it got something like 6,000 views. That's crazy. How did water lettuce start? How was it? I think it was in middle school. I do remember that. No, wait. Was it middle school? When did I start this? It's 2018. I guess I would have been, was it 6th grade? Something like that. I think it was just before middle school. And what I remember is, you know, we were out on the little area where you had break, and there was like the little like weed in the ground. Like, I think we called it water lettuce at the time, but the more I look into water lettuce, I'm not entirely sure that's what it was. But what I remember is somebody ate it. Can't remember if it was Miles or Tyler. Other Tyler? I don't know. Somebody ate it, and then it was like really bitter, and it was just, it was funny because everybody was laughing. And so then, I don't know, I just kind of took that and ran with it. And so we kind of made the friend group, like unofficially, but it was like the Water Lettuce Society. And so then that was the original name for the channel. But then after I switched to like film and animation stuff, then it became Water Lettuce Productions, obviously. Anyway, give me just a second. I'm gonna go look something up and then I'm gonna continue with this. All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Yeah, anyway, I think that's how it started for the most part. That's all I remember. I'll bring that up. All right. I don't think I'm ever gonna get these points perfect. Just trying to get them somewhat good. And the nice thing is, you know, I intend to 3D print this so that I can wear it. So obviously, if you have a kind of an uneven surface here, the beautiful thing is you can just sand it until it's nice and even. And what I'm hoping with this mask is that because there's fewer tight crevices, that it'll be a lot easier when it comes to sanding, rather than the Clone Trooper helmet that I made previously, because that one has all the, you know, the sharp little air intake places and little comm unit on the side. This one does have, if I hide this, you can see this one does have a comm unit on the side, but it's a lot less geometry. So hopefully it's still pretty easy to sand. I don't know. And then, yeah. I'm gonna say for right now, I think that'll do. Let's bring this in, tighten up that curve a little bit. I'll call that good on the face mask. Here's this helmet piece. Just gonna bring this in until it's level with everything else. Let's see, move that on the Y. Where's that other point? Here we go. Now what I was hoping to do, because I'm kind of limited on printer size, I only have a 6" by 6" by 6" printer. So I'm gonna need to print this in a ton of different pieces. But what I'm kind of hoping to be able to do is make it so that I can at least print this in a separate part, so it's not one like solid helmet that I'm putting over my head, but instead something more like, you know, you have, okay, this faceplate like snaps onto this back head plate, and then this is like a third piece, or maybe this goes on first, since I would have to go all the way around your neck. But well, that depends on what you're talking about. In this particular case, that's really small, but even oh my goodness, that's wild. Anyway, Let's see what we're looking at here. Windows, no. GZ. Alright. Come back. So we got it. Perfect. Perfect. Now what's weird is this extends so much farther back than it's supposed to. I'm not entirely sure why. Let's drag that in. Interesting. I don't know why that got pushed forward so much. How's that look? Not too round. Well, what if I just keep on bringing these in a little bit more? Go Z so that I'm moving it proportionally. Round this out just a little bit more. Let's toss the back on there so I can see. Okay, so that needs to go up. This also needs to go up. I'm just going to try and line these bottom dots up with this line here at the bottom. And the goal is kind of once I have it lined up on this side, then I switch to the side profile, and that will let me look at how it's appearing on the side. Also looks like this bottom edge is messed up a bunch as well. Yes. So that is the goal. The goal is that I will be able to wear this mask. The clone helmet that I printed previously, I can wear it, but it's really big. So I'm not entirely sure if that's by design. I didn't fully model that one when I made it. So I'm not sure if it was designed that way or if I just messed up. Honestly, it could very easily be either. But this one, I'm going to try and model to the dimensions, maybe not exactly of my head, but like, you know, slightly bigger. Relatively the same size. So all these need to go up along this edge. Oh, don't hide. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's see here. If I go to the side profile, now that we know that this is lined up on the Z axis, we have to move it on the Y, which is not you can see if I move this point on the y-axis, you can see the actual position of the point doesn't change from this point of view. That's because y is the direction that we're facing. So here you can see the y moves it, and this is what you're viewing. That's why you need two different reference planes. That way you can line it up on two axes from one way, and then correct the third axis this way, just like so. I'm gonna line that up at the bottom, just like that. And now these ones are interesting because these ones were done in this view, so they're lined up along this bottom edge, and or this one isn't. Uh-oh. These need to get moved up a little bit. Alright, should be something like that. So now if we go this way, we move on the x-axis. Edge of that white line. Doesn't help that this image is not particularly high resolution, but it's not too bad. All right. So now we know this bottom lip right here is correct. So now what I'm going to do is just kind of start lining up the rest of these points to match up with that. What I'm curious about is what if I move a duplicate of this line all the way up to the top? I don't know if this is going to help at all, but theoretically speaking, I could then just line that up. Let's see, what dimension are these correct from? I guess these aren't correct from any one direction, but we're just going to move it here and then there. Go to the next one, move it like so. The next one, where is that one? Oh. Move it like so. Right? I think so. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. Can I just move all of these at once? Probably not. I'm going to soften these edges so I can tell which edge is the one I'm trying to follow. And that should make it easier. Alright, so that point is correct. Select all of these. That one there. This one goes there. And this one goes in a little bit. And this one, that's right there. Perfect. So now, this whole bottom edge should be accurate. I'm just going to move these on the Z so they're about the same height all the way along. these to be a little bit better, so you don't have so many of these like curved lines. Interesting. So we only want these points to be curved. These ones in the front. Okay, maybe not all of those. That's a mess. Okay, there we go. That looks good. That gives us that sharp edge in front, but a smooth transition on the side. And now, take this and make it sharp again. And take our inside line and make it sharp. Perfect. Line these up so they're intersecting with the mask itself. All right. Cool. So now what I don't know is how to get this to kind of match that geometry all the way through. I think if I just take this line right here, these points are good, so we don't need those. I'm going to switch to the normal, so they're basically all traveling on the direction they're facing. I think just bring everything in. Got a chiseled jawline now. Sorry, so that one didn't work. Right, so those are good. Deselect those for right now. Just gonna move that in. Something like that looks slightly better. Let's see. Are there any of these that we don't need? Because here's the thing, the less geometry you have, the better. So we need geometry there to match that curve. But if we could dissolve these edges and then manage to keep everything squares, that would make it a lot easier. So let's see here, what if we dissolve these as well? Dissolve edges. And then how could we turn this into a square without creating a point right here? That is the question. I suppose if we put a line right there, dissolve that vertice, this vertice, and that vertice, that is now a square. And then here, let's see here, how could we do this? What would be great is if we could remove these as well. Let's see, what happens if I dissolve this? Dissolve that, and I move this up like so. We're left with, check that, and then I think if we dissolve vertices there, this should, perfect. That is all quads once again, but now we have less geometry that we have to worry about, which is excellent. So we know those are correct. Just gonna move that in a little bit. Maybe not that much. Okay, I think that looks all right. Now we do need to fix this sharp line in the middle. So I'm just going to bring that, take all of these, bring them out just a hair. Just enough that it gets rid of that a little bit. All right. I'm going to say, just delete that entirely. That's probably good for right now. Once I end up making this piece complete, then we'll have to see how this all works. And then of course we have to figure out if it is actually going to fit on my head or if we need to remodel the whole thing. I need to figure out how to make like a mock-up of my head that's the right size. I don't know. Never quite thought of that. Anyway, let's get started on this back piece right here. All right. So what I'm thinking honestly is what if we just copy these points and that'll be our starting guide. We'll separate that by selection. Wondering if this will actually be easier than I thought. We can take these all and make them not sharp. Like that. Okay, there we go. Be really funny if this actually works. just keep this line even. Is that working so far? Oh, that's actually working beautifully. This might actually just be this simple. Alright, we're just gonna keep on taking it slow. Line that up. Keep this line relatively straight. Bring that back like so. And up. Oh, interesting. It's not scaling enough on the y-axis. Oh, it's still on normal. That might be why. All right. Kind of go through each of these lines separately and line it up with this back helmet plate right here. This one we overcorrected just a bit. And this one, same thing. Alright, now we're gonna keep on doing that. Okay, so we definitely need to adjust these axes as well. What if we actually just moved it on the X? That might work better. I'm trying to scale everything. Okay, I'm actually going to undo these last two steps. And instead of scaling, we're just going to move it on the X. Okay, so this one, deselect that. Oh wait, is it scaled? Okay, it is. Alright, so if we take this and we deselect that so that point doesn't move, go back to global, X coordinate. If we just line that up, that should work and give us a less warped image up here. This does need to be sharp though. Alright, there we go, just like that. Auto smooth that. Anyway, and so this back piece I think is going to be a separate piece as well, just to make printing easier. I don't know, we'll see how everything fits on the print bed. If it's as easy as you know, just separating this up, that would be half decent. But I don't know. Anyway, let's go ahead and we'll go back into mirror view and remodel this. Alright, so scale in a little bit, move up. All right. This. Now we just have to move this over a little bit, but let's see what we're looking at. This is looking pretty good. Honestly, I thought this part was going to be a lot harder, but it's doing all right. Just going to move all of these points in. I'm going to make sure that third point is lined up with the edge. That's the goal. Select that. And 1, 2, 3, move it in. And same thing over here, move that. X. And line up the, where's the third point? There's the third point. All right. Now if I just move these down on the Z, and obviously we have to sharpen up these angles again. It's interesting that it's not super sharp. I was curious, what happens if I bring this in? Okay, it's not there, but if I just slowly bring it in, oh, interesting. I just looked at the reference image again, and it looks like this actually goes straight, this curve right here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at this. So this point is correct. This one needs to move down. Same thing with this one and this one. You can honestly tell that these aren't correct on that axis either. So I'm just going to move these until they're probably more correct. And it's going to mess up everything. But I see you guys talking about Cobblemon. Is that the like the Minecraft Pokemon mod? Is that what that is? I just looked at the chat. I haven't looked at it for a while. If so, that sounds really interesting, and I would love to do that. What starter should you pick? Is it the basic? Oh, that looks awful. Actually, I gotta figure out a better way to do that. Okay. It's all of the gens 1 through 8. That is true. Pixelmon is, it's interesting, but it's kind of a mess, and I am not a huge fan of it. It's all gen starters. Well, this is a good question then. I myself, I don't know. I'm not familiar with a lot of the gens in the middle. I know one of the more recent games. I say recent, it was actually like 2020. What was it, Sun and Moon? I liked Poplio. That dude was cool. Mudkip is awesome. And its final evolution is super cool as well. Honestly, I like Chestnut. I don't know what's the starter's name that evolves into that. I'm not entirely sure, but that guy's pretty cool. Okay, I think I figured out a better way to do this. We're gonna go this 0, boom. Move out. Pick the owl guy. Cool. That one's cool too. I think that's a really cool design. It's just not, I don't know. I never really fell in love with it. But it does definitely have a cool design, that's for sure. I think anybody who watches this stream in the future is going to be very confused why the chat is not at all on topic, because they don't realize it's just you guys having fun. But I think that is the best part of this stream. So I'm thinking, let's see, if I go like this, it's probably going to look awful. But let's take a look. What does that look like? I realized halfway through that this little raised edge part doesn't actually wrap around the back of the helmet. It just kind of lines the side, and then there's just a wider part to the helmet on the back. Let's take a look at, how does that look? Okay, that is awful. But this is very, very interesting. So all of the points is okay. Still working? Okay, there we go. So let's see, this one, that. over. Excellent. Okay, there we go. So that doesn't look all that bad. And now we have the, ooh, okay, this needs to be thicker though. So even though on the reference images it has a thin line, I really kind of like this this thick line, so I'm gonna just thicken this edge back up. So we have that. Perfect, just like that. Excellent. What happens if I just smooth this? Would that work? I'm not sure if that would work. And it did not appear to work. But let's see if we bring this over like so. I'm just gonna try and make this this curve inward a little bit more gradual, so that it's clear. We don't get all those harsh lines. Because ideally that's what you want to try and avoid, is any harsh lines and any like warping. Oh, that sticks way out. Alright, well, we will fix this angle next. Alright, one angle at a time. We go something like this. How's that looking? Not too bad. And then this, we just need to keep it an even distance from its edge. And if what I'm thinking is correct, that should give us interesting, maybe not. Let's see, how am I doing that? Because this clearly needs to come in quite a bit. Okay, well, I think this needs to line up with the edge at least. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back on the Y, like that, the Y here. maybe not. Maybe we'll go a little bit back there. It's a little bit forward. Y there. This one lines up on the Y. This one as well. This one comes back too. Perfect. This one needs to go way forward. And this one, way back. And that one actually stays. I don't know. I might be doing this entirely wrong. So it looks alright, and then I think all we have to do is just generally line up these, try and make them nice even distances. Obviously this does have to curve around a little bit. I think what should work is doing something kind of like this. Where I just kind of create these short arcs. The nice thing is we have a lot of the subdivision helping us out here, so we don't have to do as much of the actual smoothing. Does look like that's gonna get a little bit. Just trying to watch this side and see what this side is doing. This one's gonna have to come back a little bit. Oh, okay, that might be the problem, because this, okay, so this line has to arc in as well. So that's where we're running into the issue. These have to get progressively smaller the farther in we go to match that short curve. Let's see, how does that look? So that part actually looks half decent. Now this one could use a bit of help. Do something like that. How does that look? Bring that out. Alright, this is very interesting. So it looks like we're kind of getting it, but you can see it's very, very warped and very stretched right now. So what we need to do is, okay, so these need to get progressively shorter. If I just do a short arc like this, it's barely visible. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Alright. This guy, move that in. This one moves in like that. Take this guy in as well. Ooh, I'll hide. So it kind of has to curve in all directions, interestingly enough. Alright, let's see here. How is this looking? We do. Let's see if I can bring these back. I'm actually gonna scoot this so it lines up with the helmet there. And this line, I don't know why I didn't think to do this before. Not entirely sure why I can't use the smooth tool. Interesting. But let's see here. Because if I take this, I move it up. And we actually have a lot of extra geometry down here that we could work with, which could prove to be very, very helpful. So now we'll go ahead and move this on the y-axis. Like so. Okay, this might actually work. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this guy up, and we're just kind of going to make a curve here, give this nice looking geometry. And I kind of did this in the sloppiest way imaginable, so that's why we have all of this messed up geometry. Let's see what? Oh, that's a corner piece or an edge piece. All right, so this lines up with that one. We're just gonna make it all loop in toward the edge. And we got more geometry we can work with here. So I'll let this kind of go up. Do a little bit more of the work. And this can come up as well. This is going to be our nice flat curve at the bottom. And I'll double check this from the side profile to make sure it's still lining up good with the helmet. Alright, so this does need to come back down to probably about there. Honestly, I'll just line it up with this this bottom bevel. That should work just fine. Yeah, something like that. How's that looking? I think that is looking significantly better than it was. Now this line, I just realized does need to be sharp so that it lines up with the edge here. Turn face project. Okay, never mind. One face at a time. That is not at all what I was hoping for. Okay, so that is not working at all. Turn off face project, and we'll just do it by hand. That was probably fine. And then this bottom edge also needs to be sharp. All right. So that's still a little bit strange. We'll come back in here. And that is the, okay, so this is the line that matches up. It's great. Because now we can just take this and line it up with the edge. We know that this edge lines up with the side profile here. All right, looking much better. This one needs to line up as well. Alright, that is looking much, much smoother. I like where that's going. Alright, and bring these down. Bring this one in. And up a little bit. How's that looking? Looking pretty good. We need to move these back outward so that they line up. That comes out like so, this comes out like that. This actually comes in the other way. Alright, so we have a bit of a separation there. But hopefully, my hope is that once we solidify this, it should fit alright. Anyway. I'm not really a big fan of the angle of this. I feel like it doesn't curve in as much as it's supposed to. But it matches the reference good. That's why I was kind of hoping that I had a top-down reference that I could find. That way I could see, you know, is this helmet, is it rounded on top, or is it, you know, more flat like this? You can see this curve is a very flat curve. But I don't know. I'm getting this this reference off of the Galactic Armory page. They sell a 3D model for printing this helmet to the size of your head. The Galactic Armory does amazing things. But I wanted to take the challenge of modeling this helmet by hand, so I just used their reference. Instead of using the whole model, hoping that I could recreate that. But you know, that comes with its own challenges, so here we are. It's going to take a little bit of time to smooth this out. It's looking pretty smooth. We do have these sharp edges. Let's see, which one is that from? Okay, so that is from there. So what happens if we smooth that out like that? No, it's still there. All right. If we bring this one out just a ooh, we're upside down. Bring this one out just a bit more. Okay, so that mostly got rid of it. Now I do want to fix this spot right here. And it looks to be as simple as just fixing this. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable the solidify modifiers on all of these pieces. So that we can see how they're all fitting together. And how the final helmet is going to look. So I'm going to disable these pieces. So here's the neck piece. The neck piece is actually, let's disable the reference so it's not getting in the way. The neck piece actually looks pretty solid. So yeah, so once I enable the solidify, then of course you have to come in and add all of the little details. You see on the reference, there's all of this. Let me disable this actually. There's all of these lines and grooves and paneling. That's all going to come after I enable the solidify modifier. I tried originally doing it beforehand, but that led to a bunch of strange geometry on the inside, which I want to try and avoid. That'll make it easier to sand, easier to print, and when it comes to putting foam on the inside so that it's comfortable to wear, it'll make it a whole lot easier to glue down foam and make that a solid piece. So I'm going to say this piece aside from the fact that that's not quite there, drive this down. I think it goes from a tapered 45-degree angle to flat, and that's why that's off. Ooh. But other than that, all right, let's see, disable that. Perfect, nice and flat, but up here, tapered 45-degree angle. All right, that looks good. So I'm gonna say that piece looks good. Here's our back corner piece. Got a bit of strange geometry right there. Let's see if we can fix that. Should be as easy as just bringing that up. Yeah, okay. Bring that out like so. Do something like this. All right, still looks a little strange. Let's see what we can do. How's that look? That looks pretty decent. Bring this one back a little bit. Yeah. All right, now we got this. Oh, the reference is enabled. That's what I'm clipping through. All right, bring this up. That. And this, honestly, all of these, use SC0, make them flat, and bring them down. I don't think that should interfere too much. This whole thing is kind of an even line. So what if, I don't know if this would work, but it might. Oh, we also have a non-try here, so that's causing some issues. What can we do to fix that? Or wait. Oh no, it's all tries. Oh, okay. Got it, so that's just a segment point right there. Oop. There we go. Okay, SC0 that. Rotate it. And does that still look alright? That looks fine. Disable the reference. Alright. So it's still a little bit strange with some dips and some larger points, but it's not looking too bad. That was a mistake. This one, go closer. Okay. Nice. So that's that. It's got some thickness. And I might make it thicker, just depending on how the inside right here fits my head. Yeah, okay. Now, the third part. So I really want this to be able to kind of go down into the neck piece, just so that there's some overlap. but I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet. So for right now, it's just going to sit on top. So I'm actually going to rename these helmet, outer shell. That'll be good. Helmet, goggles. That's not how you spell that. I don't know. And helmet faceplate. That way it's just easier to know what piece we're going to be looking at. This one will be helmet, back plate. Excellent. So disable that. How do these two pieces fit together? If I were to remesh these. Oh, interesting. Did I? I did. Okay. So I sharpened this this back corner right here. So that might have given us a little bit of trouble. I really don't want to do that. So if I let's see what okay, so that's a Y. So G shift Y, so we're not moving on the Y. I don't know, that's a little bit chaotic. Just trying to line this up because you have a very sharp point right here that isn't being matched on the helmet. What would be the best way to fix that? Obviously we could just line up these points. Or, I don't know, this might be a little chaotic, but what if we just add extra geometry right here? And just pop that out. And of course it's not going to move on the base here. It does form a very obvious sharp line right there. So what we can do, kind of move this out as well. Bring that back down. All right. I'm actually going to undo that. It might just be a problem of how it's solidifying, because you can see right here, like it actually looks pretty clean, but it's only when we hit solidify that you get that sharp angle. So I'm actually going to go into the solidify here, and this will help me tell. Yeah, okay, so it is just when I make it solid, but it is clearly going inside. Well, I can't say. Oh, okay, hold on a second. The solidify is before the subdivision. Oh, okay. That would probably solve the issue. Hey, look at that. Okay, perfect. So if I put the subdivision, or the solidify after the subdivision, then it's trying to solidify the subdivided surface and not the sharp point. Now the problem that I'm seeing is with the eyes right here. That is a problem. So let's see if we can't make that better by dissolving just a few of these vertices that we're not going to be needing. The subdivision will do a lot of this, so we don't need nearly as many points on these edges. So I'm just going to delete every other point. And it looks like the, oop, that was the wrong button, vertices. Looks like the normals on these points are a little bit strange. They're not quite sure what it is that they're trying to do. And I don't know enough about normals to fix that. So if anybody who watches this knows anything about normals, I would be curious to know if there's a way to make that smoother. Maybe I just have extra geometry in there, or I don't know. Whatever you think would help, I would love the advice. But already, that is mostly clear. And the nice thing is we're going to be remeshing it with these goggles anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. I did just realize what I should probably do is wait. Oh, this one doesn't need solidify. It's already solid. Okay. Yeah, it already has all of its vertices. Perfect. Well, I will say, something's a little off about these. I'm not a huge fan. I like them to be almost flatter, but being flat isn't the main problem. You can see like it dips in right here. I don't know. If we just move this out, does that make it better? If I go down from Z. Oh, is that why? Oh, it's because I just scaled everything in. Okay, so it's trying to, so I go on the normals. Ooh, never mind. That wasn't right. Kind of hoping that would work a little better. Okay. Very interesting. I don't think I'm gonna mess with the goggles tonight. It's coming up on 7:30, so that'll put us at 2 hours for the stream, and I think that's a good length to go for tonight. Yeah. Okay. So all in all, this helmet is coming together far better than I thought it would. And I think once I add the designs to the front, the designs to the side, add a comm link here, should look pretty good. Now the hardest part is definitely going to be taking measurements on the inside and figuring out if I could even fit this on my head. Should I 3D print it? Because that's the end goal, is I want to 3D print it so I can wear it. And the big overarching project is I want to make the chest armor, shoulder armor. I want to make like the whole suit. But I'm kind of learning this, step by step as I go through it. So it's not perfect by any means, but it's also not looking too shabby. So, I don't know. I think I'll leave that here for tonight, and I'll work on the goggles. I'm not going to do that on stream because I have no idea what I need to do there. So that wouldn't even make for an entertaining process. But yeah, if anybody watches this and you have any tips, feel free to leave a comment with any tips you have. I have a Discord server that I linked in the description. So if you want to leave tips there as well, feel free to do that. It's not really set up very well so far as like, as a Blender Discord. So I do apologize for that, but just put it in general and I'll get around to making a separate channel for that, specifically for Blender help. But I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do more of these streams because there's a lot I still need to learn, and there's a lot of you guys who know a whole lot more than I do. So I love learning from you guys. I love joining different Discords, watching different tutorials, and just going through the comments and seeing like, I never knew that, or I never knew about this shortcut, or never knew about this add-on. So yeah, here's where we're gonna end for tonight, comparing it with the reference. Not looking half bad at all. Beautiful thing about 3D printing is a lot of this I can do in post. I could sand this out and make it flat, and then paint goes a long way. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. I would love it if you guys could subscribe or at least like. It really helps the channel out. And yeah, if you guys have any ideas for project stuff, I know there's a couple from the guys that were in the chat. A couple of silly projects I could work on. But yeah. This has been fun. I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a good rest of your day. And see you later. Bye.